Have you ever thought about how a simple concept, something you might learn in a high school physics class, could completely turn an Olympic sport on its head? Well, that's exactly the story we're getting into today.
So what's the real secret to winning a high jump gold medal? Is it all just raw, explosive strength? Or could it be physics? The answer is pretty wild.
Okay, to get to the bottom of this, we've got to go back and meet our hero, a young guy with a dream that honestly seemed pretty impossible at the time. So, meet Dick Fosbury. He was this kind of skinny kid who was just completely passionate about the high jump. And his dream, it was huge. He wanted that Olympic gold. But there was a big problem. He just didn't have the raw strength of his competitors. No matter what he did, he just couldn't clear those top-tier heights.
But then, something totally unexpected happened. He's visiting his grandfather, and a simple little toy, well, it sparked an idea that was going to change absolutely everything. Picture this. He sees this little toy bird, and it's just perfectly balanced on its beak. It's defying gravity. It wouldn't fall, and Fosbury just had to know why.
So he goes up to his grandpa and asks, "How is that possible? Why doesn't it fall over?" And his grandfather says these 5 simple words that would literally change his life. It's balanced on its center of mass.
The center of mass. So what is that? What is this invisible point? And more importantly, how the world could that help you jump over a bar?
Okay, so the center of mass is basically an imaginary point. Think of it like the object's balancing point, the one spot where all its weight is kind of concentrated.
And here's where it gets really cool. The location of this point isn't fixed. It all depends on the object's shape. For that little toy bird, its wings were designed to put the center of mass right under its beak, which is why it could balance. But get this, and this is the key part, that point can actually be outside the object, in thin air.
And that was Fosbury's light bulb moment. Think about it. When you're standing up straight, your center of mass is somewhere around your navel, right? Inside you. But what happens if you arch your back, like you're bending backwards over something? Suddenly, that center of mass moves to a point in the air just below your back. It's not in your body anymore.
So this leads him to this wild, revolutionary question. He's thinking, wait a minute, in the high jump, my body has to go over the bar. But what if my center of mass could go under it?
So, with this crazy physics idea in his head, Fosbury heads back to the track, and he starts working on a jump that looked, well, really, really strange. Okay, check out the difference here. Before Fosbury, every single technique, like the straddle jump, meant you had to lift your entire body and your center of mass up and over the bar. But with Fosbury's new jump, the flop, he'd arch his back in just the right way, his body would snake over the bar, but his center of mass, it would pass underneath it. It was like a physics hack. He was clearing higher bars using less vertical force.
And this wasn't just a tiny improvement. We're talking about a crucial few inches. It was a massive advantage. He was basically outsmarting gravity, getting higher than his competitors without needing to be stronger or more explosive.
So, how does a jump that everyone makes fun of end up winning an Olympic medal? Let's get to that part of the story.
I mean, you can probably guess what happened next. When Fosbury started doing this weird, backwards, flopping jump, people laughed at him. Seriously. They thought it looked ridiculous. It was so unconventional, coaches and other athletes just wrote him off as a joke.
But Fosbury didn't care. He knew the physics worked, so he kept at it, perfecting this strange technique until 1968, when he brought it to the biggest stage of them all, the Olympics in Mexico City.
And the pressure was on. The competition was intense. It all came down to one last jump. One jump for the gold. The whole world is watching this underdog get ready to do his flop.
And he nails it. He clears the bar. But he didn't just win the gold medal. No, he completely shattered the world record. And just like that, all that laughter, it turned into pure astonishment.
You know, that one jump wasn't just a win for him. It was a full-on revolution. It sent a shockwave through the entire sport. And that technique that everyone made fun of, we now call it the Fosbury flop. And today, if you turn on the Olympics, it's literally the only way anyone high jumps. It became the global standard, all because one skinny kid got curious about a toy bird and a little bit of physics. It really makes you think, right? What's the next Fosbury flop? What other weird flop of an idea is out there right now just waiting to completely surprise the world?